Latest and breaking news, Gaza's only power plant has stopped working after running out of fuel as Israel continues its deadly bombardment for a fifth day. Israeli troops are massing near the Gaza border in preparation for what could be a ground invasion of the territory, as Israel responds to Saturday's brutal attacks by Hamas militants. Let's update you on the key developments this hour. Israel saying that more than 200 Israelis are now known to have been killed since Hamas launched attacks on Saturday. 169 of those killed were soldiers. BBC understands 17 British nationals are dead or missing. Palestinian sources say that more than 1,055 people have been killed by Israel's bombardment of Gaza, where entire neighborhoods have been flattened. Food and medical supplies are dwindling after Israel sealed all crossings into the territory. Both sides accusing the other of war crimes, and the attacks, which began on Saturday. Strikes against Gaza can continue. Let's just show you this. This just gives you a sense of the bombardment. A series of blasts a short while ago at Gaza's port, smoke billowing right up into the sky. There, let's bring you more developments from our correspondent Nick Beek, who is in Tel Aviv. The missiles rained down on Gaza for another night. Israel said its jets hit 200 targets in one specific part of the city, which it claimed was home to those behind Hamas's attack at the weekend. Many civilians were on the receiving end, taken to hospitals, which were already said to be full. Palestinian officials said half of the dead in Gaza, women and children killed as shops and homes were leveled. Children are now playing here where they should be. Sleeping. What is this? This is not a life. We are living here surrounded by rubble. Gaza is destroyed. Everything is destroyed. Israel's intensified attack came after the discovery of a massacre in the southern city of Far Aar. Israeli soldiers recapturing areas from Hamas said mothers and children were among those who'd been murdered in their homes. They have just jihad, machine to kill everybody without weapons, without nothing, just normal citizens that want to take their breakfast, and that's all. And they kill them. It's an aggressive thing to see. It's very difficult to see it, but we must remember who is the enemy and what our mission. Our mission is the justice. We're in the right side, and all the world need to be behind us. An official UK source has told the BBC there are now 17 British nationals who are either dead or missing. Following Hamas's attack in Israel, children are among them. Many of these victims have not yet been named. Israeli troops are gathering on the edge of Gaza in ever greater numbers, preparing for a much bigger battle, a ground operation, into the heart of Hamas-controlled territory here at Israel's Ministry of Defense. They say they're preparing to carry out their mission to make sure that Hamas will not be able to kill Israeli civilians in the future, but any advancing forces are likely to encounter fierce resistance from the Hamas fighters. It's feared the bloodshed of the past few days will only intensify. Nick Beek, BBC News, Tel Aviv. Well, let's bring you more now from Nick, who has the very latest from outside the Defense Ministry. We're at the Ministry of Defense at the moment, and they say the plans are continuing, that thousands of troops, hundreds of thousands of troops are now making their way towards Gaza. And if you listen to top officials, if you listen to the defense minister here, he says it's not a question of if they go into Gaza, but when, and so these preparations are underway. The top military generals, the commanders, say that they have been given this mission by the government, and in their words, that is a mission to make sure that Hamas is unable to harm or kill Israeli civilians in the future. So that is the words coming out of the Israeli Ministry of Defense. Of course, at the same time, there are concerns, deep concerns about what ground invasion, a ground operation would mean for lots and lots of people. But certainly, that is what we're hearing from the top Israeli generals, that it's a matter of time, that given that so many Israelis, of course, are still reeling, are still shocked and so traumatized by what has happened, what is your sense of how united or, in fact, divided people are when it comes to this next bit of military action by Israel? Well, this is a country, of course, where people have to do military service. So there is that connection, that relationship. And so people who may not be on active service at the moment, they have been caught up, or they're certainly wake to. We've talked to people who've been saying that they've been ringing up, asking to go and serve. There was one local person who was helping us yesterday, driving us around, and he actually said that he was called up.